Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seats. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Hey, Rob. It's Sunday night.
Did you forget what day it was?
Well, you know what? I just love the Cornbread Nation so much. We were on here doing some other things. I said, let's just do a special front porch talking. So we got a different background because it's a special. It's not the normal front porch. So we wanted a special background. Hopefully Cook's going to join us in a minute and whoever else. But if you're out there and we're already seeing people pop in there, join in with us, chat with us. It's a special Sunday night front porch talking. We're going to go for a little bit. We were doing some stuff, getting prepared for this week, and we thought we would just come on and see what's going on your Sunday night. You know, how's we've kicking our new week off. I had a great day at church. Of course, this morning, Cook, I called you Cook. We heard a couple of stories. You know, that might not be good if we heard about eating and stuff, but But we, I did the Sunday morning devotion this morning. Had a great time with that. I had, of course, 2 services today. Hey, there's Cook. He's coming up. Be glad to have him up on screen here in just a second. He's been with us this afternoon. But how about you, Rob? What'd you do on your Sunday?
I had just a good long day with the wife, and that's a good way to spend it.
That is a good way to spend it.
I did do some work here and got some stuff set up. You know, I'm going to be going out of town for a little bit next weekend, so I got to get my work done and caught up too.
That's right. You're headed to the Redneck Riviera, you call it.
Yes, Panama City Beach, Florida.
Yeah. Cook, how's your day been?
Pretty good. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I know you was at the hospital the other night. Hopefully you're feeling better, getting around a little better.
Yeah.
I hope Mama's doing good.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Awesome. It's kind of rough for me. My air went out. I got to get that looked at tomorrow. So, Robert, last week it was you. This week it's me. We had some bad storms come through Saturday, though. I mean, bad.
Yeah.
They told me on the mountain they even got a little hail. I didn't see that, but I seen high winds and lightning and, of course, a lot of rain. And I think that's what did it in, man. Weird. It's not even that old, man. But hopefully they'll get out and get it fixed. But we hope you had a great Sunday out there. New week, things clicking on with the country. We're headed towards elections, and get out and get prepared to vote. And get busy and doing citizen stuff. So, but hey, you know what? I was talking a little sports. We were noticing. We were excited. The Braves won 2 this weekend. Hey,
yeah.
We got there for a while. The Braves couldn't win 2 in a row. They were just winning 1, then losing 1, winning 1, losing 2, winning 1. Well, they won back to back. Jack.
That's right. Yeah, and that, you know what that means? That means they're going to win the next one too.
Well, we hope. Watched a little bit of preseason football, and our old boy Stetson Bennett, he cut down some of his miscues, Cook, but he did throw a 47-yard touchdown too. I think he's got a good chance to stick in that quarterback room. I think he's shown enough with his legs. He's just got to reduce the errors. But again, he missed a whole year, man. He didn't get much. And I think, Stetson he's coming along.
He's picking up. He's getting better every game, looks like.
He is. For those that don't know, we're talking about Stetson Bennett of the national champion back-to-back Georgia Bulldogs. We're not going to hide our colors here.
That's right.
Whoever you root for, hey, we love it. But we are excited.
He'll be the future for the Rams.
Well, I hope so. That would be neat. He's a little on the short side. Of course, we can't say that much because Robert will get offended. He's been talking about his height a lot here lately. I don't want to offend.
Drew Brees wasn't too tall.
No. In fact, I think Robert's taller than Drew Brees. was. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, maybe by hair.
Maybe. It's good to see Earl in the comments. If you're out there, comment, throw us something here. Hopefully we'll get that and see it. Hope you've had a great day. We just decided to jump on and join, and we've been cutting our morning funnies for the week and getting those done. And old enough to retire next year. I like that. If that's, hey, I went to a retirement lunch, not for me, but for someone else on Friday. We had a good time. It was really nice. It's always hard. It's emotional when somebody retires and you're not going to work with them anymore. But this was a nice lunchtime. It'd been a tough week. I was really glad to be a part of that on Friday. It's tough,
I'm gonna tell you, you're sneaking up on that retirement age yourself, or
just a little bit by little bit by little bit, Of course, I don't know what retirement is. Retirement from all work, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but retirement from most of the work, maybe, yeah. But I'll always be doing something, If these
guys like to piddle anyway.
Well, if these costs keep going up like they've been going up, man, I mean, you're going to have 4 jobs just to be able to buy groceries. I mean, come on. Hey, I seen this thing, and I don't know if it's real or not, because everything on the internet's not real. But he did show the receipt, and I think I showed you. I don't know, did I send you that? The guy that went to I won't name the restaurant, but he got like, what was it, 4 cheeseburgers and fries and maybe a shake or something. And the bill was $72. I got to tell you, if I go somewhere and I'm getting 4 cheeseburgers, some fries, and maybe a drink and a shake, and it's $72, I won't be back.
No,
I'll find another way. I'm not doing that.
Now, Dave, you need to look at this comment.
I won't even pay for it.
Well, yeah, maybe I don't know. Is he old enough to?
No, you're talking about you. You're gonna be old enough to retire next year. You're what?
No.
You're like 68, right?
No, not 68. You know better than that. If I was 68, you'd be at least 60, early 60s, dude. I'll be 60 in 2025, and I'm thankful for it. Praise the Lord for another year, another day. If I make it,
next year,
praise God. Yeah, next year.
You're gonna hit 60.
I will. I'm gonna kick the crap out of it. I'm gonna be in here podcasting and having fun, and I'm hoping that the election goes well and we can start turning this country around. I want to be a part of it, I got contacted. I haven't given an answer yet, but in the past I have helped do some evaluations of some candidates. I can't name the organization. They asked us not to do that. And we rate candidates, and this would be in the state of Georgia. And I've just been busy, but I think I'm going to try to help them again, even as busy as I am, because it's important. And people that don't have time, or maybe they don't take the time to do the research, this information gets out there and helps. There's more than one organization that does it, but they will help you and guide you in, especially the down votes when you're talking about people that are down in the more local level. The football player from Georgia. That would be the 2-time national champion Georgia player, right? 2-time. Hey, I waited 40 years for it, Hey,
look.
I had to listen to Cook brag about Bama there for, 20 years, 15, 20 years or whatever it was. And he's a Georgia fan too, but it was so nice to finally win it again and to win it back to back. Yay.
Dude, look, I love my brother Hester, brother Earl. I love him to death. But you know how hard it was for me for that string of time to go over to his house to watch the Georgia-Alabama game, and I never got to see the Dogs beat them. This was several years ago. I mean, what was that, 4 or 5 times I went over there and watched them play Alabama, and they lost every blooming time?
Hey, I want to tell you this quick story, man. I don't know if I've ever told you, but we were doing a fantasy football draft. I mean, this has been years and years ago. Was at this guy's house. We'd never been, and we had a new guy. He didn't really know a lot about football, but he said, "Hey, I'm willing to have some fun." He wanted to be in our group. We were a fun group. Yeah. So I was coaching him. I'd been working with him on who to draft and all that, and he did his own drafting. But I was kind of like the call a friend guy. So he would look over at me, and I'd no or yeah and he made the bids. But anyway, this guy had stood up to come over, and he was showing me his book with his notes, and he was pointing at players like, should I call this guy next or whatever? Well, we didn't know it. All we knew is that the guy who owned the house, he stood up and he screamed at the top of his lungs. He said, "You sit down and shut your mouth and don't get back up." And this guy, it scares him half to death. He goes over, he sits down in the chair, and you can see he's almost shaking. I mean, this guy just yelled. And he looks over at me and he goes, What did I do wrong? I mean, and I looked at the guy, I won't say his name. If he's watching, love you, man. You knew it was funny too. And he goes, and of course, some people might not like what he did on this anyway. But he said, I said, "Hey, man, like, what's the problem, dude? I mean, like, I'm like this guy's host, like, I mean, right now he's having 3 heart attacks and he's like Waldo, man. He's shaking over here." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "No, man, I wasn't talking to him." He said, "My dog was nose around in here and I was telling him to sit down and shut up." I thought, well, why are you talking to the dog like that? But it scared this guy half to death, man.
Oh my goodness.
And it traumatized him, man. I don't think he ever got over it.
Oh, dude,
he said, he leaned over, he said, "You guys are intense." I said, "Dude, that's not normal. That's just him."
Dude, see, I would love to do that just to see the reaction in the room. I think, we had somebody fall asleep one year at the football draft or baseball draft. We were doing fantasy baseball too. And I think fingernail polish came out and they painted around his belly button. Yeah. That was kind of
funny. These things can happen anywhere. There was one time, and I love my church brethren. I love them, but they were having a youth night with all the boys. It was 2 preacher friends of mine, and they said, "Can the boys come?" At this time, my boys were probably about, 11 and 7 or something like that, maybe 12 and 8, something like that. Well, you know how it is when you go to something like that. You know the rule. It's not written down anywhere, but everybody knows the rule. Never be the first one to go to sleep, right?
Right.
Never be the first one to go to sleep. Well, my youngest boy, the one that Mr. Bacon, the Bacon controversy, old Josh, he fell asleep first. Well, they painted him up. They took pictures and sent them to me, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And Jeremy, the older brother, he was it traumatized him. He's like, "I'm not going to sleep, Daddy." He told me, he said, I stayed up all night. He slept all day. He said, "They wasn't doing me like that." I got down there, and what was funny, when he woke up, he didn't know what they were laughing at. He's like, What? And they can't talk to him. And they're all just laughing. And he's like, What? And they just had to bring a mirror to him. And you know what he did? I mean, because I always said my youngest son's like Pigpen. Like, he don't care. He just don't care. So I figured he would clean all this stuff up before I come and picked him up that morning. I got there early. I think we were supposed to pick him up by 8:30, 9 o'clock or something. And I go down there. He still got his hair. They had sprayed his hair where it was like standing straight up, like spiked up. He had lipstick on his lips. He had, they took some black marker or something, drew around his eyes. They had designs drew in his cheeks. I don't even remember all the stuff they had. And I said, "Josh, go in there and wipe that stuff off, son." He's like, "I don't care. Let's go home." I'm like, "I'm not taking you down the road like that, man. We might have to stop and go in somewhere."
Oh my!
He didn't care, man. But you never be the first one to fall asleep, man.
Never. Oh my goodness! Why?
I don't know if Cook was there, but I remember a guy that fell asleep. That Cymbalus Cook. You remember this? And they taped his eyelids shut. You remember that? Oh my gosh!
I don't remember that.
Oh man, it was one of those all-nighters, man. This guy wakes up, man. They put shaving cream in his hand, all kinds of stuff. So he's like trying to get the stuff off of his eyes because he can't open his eyes, and so he's getting shaving cream everywhere.
It's the Jeff too, wasn't it? His name was Jeff too, wasn't it? His name
the
was
guy
Jeff
they did
also.
it to? No. That was his first name was. Oh my goodness, man! I'm getting old. Yeah, I'm elderly. What was his name? He's one of your former neighbors over there. All the boys, all the brothers. He was not the youngest brother, but he was one of the younger ones. What was his first name?
Oh, Robbie or Alan.
Allen. I didn't want to say the last name. Allen. You might not have been there for that. Oh my gosh. He came in and fell asleep laying on the sofa, and they had a field day. Well, I say they. I guess I got to raise my hand and say I was part of they that night, because that was my first and last time doing anything like that.
I want to tell you something about Brother Allen. You know, I was raised with Allen. Played football.
We played a lot of sports together.
He had a drinking problem a little bit, and
for a little while he did.
Him wake up out of a dead sleep, put mayonnaise on bread, and then put an ashtray on it. That he thought that the ashtray was something to eat or something, and he made a sandwich and took a bite out of it, and I said, "Wow, that's messed up right there."
You know what's cool now though is to run in all these guys and they're serving the Lord and going to church, a lot of them, and it's like our friend Paul the other morning talking about how he battled for years with the drink and overcame that through Jesus. And I mean, hey, we all try to get better, right? I mean, Amen. It doesn't mean you have to have those times, but some people do, and you just get better and better, and you kick that, and I just think that's awesome when we see that. Most people got something in their past, what they say, skeletons in the closet.
I got no skeletons in my closet.
I love Brother Allen.
Oh yeah.
If he ever like a fish, and I'm open and honest about it. I spent a large part of my life trying to spend just as much time drunk as I possibly could. And but that's not me anymore, like you said.
Amen. It's
to be perfectly honest, that's probably why I was so grumpy and cantankerous years ago.
You mean you're not now?
No.
No grumpy, no cantankerous.
You can't be this pretty and good looking and be grumpy and cantankerous.
You're right,
you
Robert.
Believe it only took me 53 years to get to be this good looking?
Yeah.
Imagine what you're going to be in your senior discount days.
Wow.
Exactly. Man.
It's going to be a stunner.
I'm going to get you watch and see. Chippendales is going to call before it's over with.
I got it, Rob. You need to get you a cowboy hat and some cowboy boots and a big belt buckle. That would fit in really good down there in the county you live in. And you could rock that senior circuit, man. I'm telling you could.
Don't forget the monkey patch.
You mean going up to Hardee's and eating breakfast every morning?
Absolutely, man.
That's the senior circuit around here. You go
and by the way, I love them all. But have you ever went into that place when they're there and tried to? If you're not one of the group, there are assigned seats. I think you can't just sit anywhere. They'll tell you, hey, that's our seats.
Yeah, I will go in there and sit in them just to get their reaction. And I walked in one time and sat right next to the group, and I knew I was in somebody's seat.
Oh yeah, you were getting the stare down. You was getting the stare down, buddy.
Yeah, and they were all kind of giving me that look, and I just started talking to them. And one of them finally looked over and says, so-and-so is going to be here within the next 5 minutes, and you're in his seat. We don't mind you sitting here till he gets here, but you're going to have to move.
It won't be long, Rob, that you could be in the Romeo Club. You know what that is, right?
No.
Real old men eating out. That's what they call that, the Romeo Club.
Well, the fact that you know that tells me you're already in it. That's not very nice to say to somebody there, Dave.
Tarman, I know that was tough, but this comment of Tarman is so good. I'm putting it on the screen. That's great. Bless your heart, man.
Yeah.
Amen. I think a lot of us can say
amen.
Some things like that.
Oh yeah.
Good job, brother.
So the good thing is God don't hold that against us. We get forgiven and we move on.
Amen.
Now we might hold it against ourselves, but once you repent, that's gone. Jesus paid for that.
Amen.
You know, all you can do now is pick up and go on. What did he say? And sin no more.
Amen. Try to be better today than we were yesterday. You know,
That's all we can do.
hopefully get to tomorrow and be good there and be a good citizen. I'm really blessed. I mean, we all are. I know we're frustrated with what's going on in the country, but we live in such a great place. The USA is an awesome place. Have a lot of patriotism. By the way, I want to say while Cook's in here, Cook's not always with us, and this is a special Sunday night front porch talking. We don't normally do this, but we decided to come in and spend some time with you. But Cook, I want to ask you if you remember this. You remember the first Gulf War, and me and you were headed to Atlanta, and we came up on that military convoy, and you were hanging out the window going, USA, USA. I mean, you were screaming at the top of your lungs. And do you remember that guy you came up on? He couldn't have been more than 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. And he was in a Humvee by himself. And you hollered right as you came. And he jumped so bad, I thought he was going to fall out of the Humvee, man. You remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, Cook is 6'4". Half his body, man, is hanging out the window, and we're rooting them on. I've got my arm out on the other side, and we know where they're going. They're going to war. I mean, they'd already started talking about it. These guys were heading down to Miami, get on the transports to go over. And it was moving to me because I knew some of those young men, they weren't coming home. And I'm telling you, man, great respect for those guys. And imagine them driving down the road, what they're thinking about. And so we were just trying to let them know there's some people here that appreciate what you're doing. Well, no matter what anybody thinks about the Iraqi war, I appreciate the American soldier. And we man, that was a great Cook. I'll never forget that, man.
Oh yeah. Except for him jumping, they all had a smile on their face and they were loving it.
Yeah. Well, by the way, when he caught himself, he went, yeah, man. I mean, he got into it, man. And I said, Cook, I said, that young man might not make it back. We don't know. I pray he did.
Yeah.
But that right there, I don't know what was going through his mind. He was deep in thought, man. But that right there let him know that there were some people here in this good old US of A that said, we love you. We're praying for you. We appreciate you. Go get her done. And I'll never forget that, man. And when those guys came back, they were hanging the flags off the overpasses and everything. I mean, thousands of people on the side of the road. There's still a lot of patriotic people in this country. The people that don't like it, they don't like our country, take a hike. And I don't even care anymore. They can get mad if they want. Yeah, you're a citizen, but you should be ashamed of yourselves if you're not supporting those that maintain your freedom, whether you like the war or not, they're maintaining your freedom. I love my military folks, man. And I'll never forget that as long as I live, man.
Me either. I'm glad you brought that up. It brings joy to me just thinking about it, knowing I remember seeing the smile on their faces and how pumped they were for us doing that. Yeah,
man. And I noticed when we were doing that, there were other cars around us, and we're on the interstate going, I don't know, 65, whatever, 70 miles an hour down the road. There were other cars that were around us, started honking the horns and everything. We kind of started something there. It was pretty cool, man. And that was a long convoy, man. I mean, it went on for a few miles, man. I mean, they were carrying they had the artillery hooked up. They had the Humvees. They had troops in the back of trucks. They had, all kind of supplies because they were headed. Hey, there's Daniel. Good evening, Daniel. I almost said good morning. But good evening, Daniel. But Robert, Robert, have you ever seen something like that where you just, man, the patriotism just running over, man, where you're just like, it's like time stops or something, man. It's just an amazing moment.
It really does. And it means a lot when people start recognizing what's going on.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know. They didn't know if they were coming back or not.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And there were a lot of deaths in the wars. It would have been a lot more if it hadn't been for the good work they did and the technology and everything else that was sent over there. But there's a lot of guys didn't come home, and maybe girls, I don't remember. I know some served in support roles and stuff. The next war, Rob, the next war, women are going to be on the front lines, man. Yeah, that's going to be a thing, man. And I'm if there's a draft, I really believe it'll be men and women. I really believe that. They've already sort of talked about it. They've already put that out there. And if we get into a major conflict, I mean, our numbers are down. They may, I'm not, who knows? Who knows? I'm not saying they will, but there's always that possibility because the recruiters are having a hard time getting enough people in, their quotas, whatever it is they're looking for. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of our enemies. They're not having any problem with quotas because they make them do it. They just give them a gun and order them to do it or else. Yep. And so I don't want to talk about who they are, but everybody pretty much knows. But we, it's always controversial, the draft. I get it. I absolutely get it. And hopefully we have enough volunteers that want to do that. But I've been watching, I signed up on one of those groups online that you can get to different things. And one of them is a Vietnam group, and just looking at all the pictures and stuff and those young faces. And then some of them, they say, a week later, this young man died or something. It just makes you take a moment and pause and be thankful for the cost of freedom. Sugar Britches is here.
Oh, you finally said his name.
Oh, I did, didn't I? I was reading it. I was reading it.
Oh, you called him by name. You hear that, Sugar Britches? He finally said it.
You caught me off guard. I was reading what the comment said, and I didn't even realize what I just did.
Oh, my goodness. Cook, this is Sugar Britches, a.k.a. Daniel. He's my buddy. And we've been trying to get Dave to call him by name for a long time. We finally got her done, Daniel.
Well, I wasn't really calling him that. I was reading the comment, Rob. Let's be clear here.
You said Sugar Britches is here.
He's not going to let me live it down. I can tell you that. Look at that comment. I did, Daniel. I did it just for you. I'm going to own it. I said it.
Now, what's Daniel's name?
That's Daniel.
What do we call Daniel?
We call him a friend. We call him a friend.
That's right.
He's a breadhead. He's a part of Cornbread Nation, man.
That's right.
By the way, for our listeners, if you got a Facebook account, go to our Facebook Cornbread Nation and join. It's real simple. Yeah. You just go there and join, become a breadhead. If you like some good old cornbread, drop us down, drop us to the side or put us aside. Let us see that good old skillet of cornbread there behind us there in front of that American flag. Can you do that, Rob? Just give it a second, and we got our logo in there. We're kind of covering it up, but we like us some cornbread, and Southern Fried Podcast is all into that. I mean, the good old skillet cornbread. Yeah, there's nothing like it. The Cornbread Nation. That's right. Become a member of it. And there's 6 pillars to our beliefs. We believe in freedom and friends and family and faith and food. And we like having some good, clean fun, man. Good, clean fun. That's what it's all about.
What you asking?
Cornbread and biscuits. Well, when you go to, what is it? Crackabell. They don't you just cook? Don't tell me you say one or the other. You say both, right? They always ask you want cornbread or biscuits? Both.
Yes.
I want them both.
Yeah.
By the way, I got a question I'm gonna throw out there. I like throwing stuff out there. I'm sure there's a logical, simple answer, but I stopped by a local establishment today. Me and my granddaughter, wife wasn't feeling good, didn't make it to church, but I got me a couple of sausage biscuits. Yeah. But my granddaughter, she had choices here. And the first choice, which I get, one of them is the sausage gravy, and then one of them is just the regular gravy. Okay, she didn't want the sausage gravy. She wants the regular gravy. So then the lady asked another question, which I thought, I just thought it was like a known thing. Like I don't, maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I've been sheltered. She said, do you want me to crumble up your biscuit? Well, ain't that the way we all eat our biscuit and gravy?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Crumble it up?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Oh, you got a different way?
Yeah. When I get a sausage biscuit, number one, then I put gravy on it. But I leave it round, and when I get done, that gravy looks like icing flowing off the top of it. And then I can just cut the whole thing, and I can get like a biscuit, sausage, and biscuit. Slop it around in that gravy. Oh, down the hatch.
Well, why wouldn't you just go ahead and crumble up the biscuit? Why do you got to go to all this thing where you got to do all that? Why wouldn't you just crumble the biscuit up? And
What do you got to go through the trouble of crumbling up your biscuit? When you stick it in your mouth and chew it up, it's going to be crumbled enough.
Well, she was going to do it for her. Why wouldn't you just go ahead and crumble? You mean there's some people that get offended if you crumble up their biscuit in the?
I would. If I got a sausage biscuit, I don't want my sausage crumbled up.
Not the sausage, the biscuit, brother. You could put the sausage on the side, man. You could dip the sausage in the gravy, right?
I can dip the biscuit in the gravy.
Well, that's what you extra biscuits for. But you got to have the foundation, man. You got to have the crumbled up biscuit with the gravy on top.
Y'all like sausage and biscuit any way you can get it. That's what I say.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, that's what I make.
You just try to stir up something, ain't you?
Well, when she said that, when she asked that, I thought, is there any other way? Yeah, sure. Crumble it up.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You don't even eat grits. So, I mean, come on. How would you know the right way to eat a biscuit and gravy?
Grits ain't got nothing to do with biscuits and gravy, brother. That's a whole nother subject, man. Don't even go there.
You don't eat grits, Dave?
I've known this man over 30 years, and he asked me a question like that. He already know that. No, I don't eat grits, and I don't eat grit cake either. I just found out about that. That's a little delicacy I seen up in Tennessee. They were doing grit cake. I don't even like the sound of that. But man.
He don't eat barbecue goat either.
No, I don't goat nothing. Don't matter if it's barbecued or diced and sliced and smothered and covered. I don't want no goat, man.
That makes me want some grits.
He just don't know what's good for him. That's why he's not 6'4" like you, Cook. He didn't eat good food growing up. He didn't eat no grits.
He don't like greens. He don't like collard greens, mustard greens. He likes cabbage, I think.
I do like cabbage.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, let me ask you this question.
You don't like broccoli, cauliflower?
No. I said I like broccoli, and some. It's according to how it's prepared.
Yeah.
But how do you fix your cabbage? Let's find out. Let's start getting down to the cabbage of this. How do you fix your cabbage?
Me? I make green de juju. I put my cabbage, I cut it up, I put it in a pot, I put some water on it, start it to boiling, put a little bit of salt and pepper in it, and then I get sausage, a roll of sausage, and I crumble it up and drop it in there and let it cook with that cabbage. We call it green de juju.
No butter?
I put,
maybe a little bit of sugar, but no butter.
Sugar?
Meat, like you put in beans.
Yeah.
Meat, that's what I do. I made all that. I made biscuits and gravy today, and yesterday I made pot of white beans.
Did you crumble your biscuit up for your biscuit and gravy today, Cook?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Robert. See?
I had some biscuits at my
I'm not knocking either way. I'm still going to eat it no matter what it's done.
And I had biscuit and gravy this morning too. With the gravy right over the top, whole biscuit and gravy. I crumbled it up in my belly.
Let me tell y'all something about me. My name's David. And I say, my name's Davy. I like biscuits and gravy. And I love gravy so much that when nobody would make it for me, I taught myself how to make it. And now I make it. I'm not bragging, but I make it so good. My cousin and my mama, they say, you make the gravy, son. I said, all right, I'll make it.
I make gravy too. I go buy that packet at the store, and I follow the directions.
You started with a packet. Get him off screen. All right, Cook, go. How do you make gravy? Because we got to know. We got listeners might want to know. They might want to learn here. How do you make your gravy, man?
Cook bacon or sausage. Either one, don't matter to me. And you take the grease from it, and you can leave the sausage in there, or you can take it out, but the grease. And if you ain't got quite enough grease, just pour you a little oil in there. Make sure you got enough. Let it get good and hot. Then put the flour in there. Sprinkle the flour. And then you got enough. It starts getting a little thick. Then you want to brown that flour and that grease together where it gets good and brown. Put salt and pepper in it. A lot of people put water in it. They start off with water, then they put milk. I go all milk.
All milk.
When I got it.
2% vitamin D. What kind of milk you putting in there, man?
I'm trying to stick with 2%. I really need to drink skim, but that 2% tastes a little bit better. But anyway,
good deal.
Get that brown and you pour that in there, and you'll get a good. And thicken it up, and you have to put a little more milk and just keep it stirring. You got to keep it stirring and get it to the thickness that you like, and then that's all there is to it. It's really not hard at all. Just be patient.
All right. So when it's on the table, Candy just said you make the best gravy. So if I'm at your house, and Robert, I crumble the biscuit up. All right, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna crumble the biscuit up. And I'm going to get that spoon or that dipper, whatever you got in that gravy, and I got to pour it on that crumpled up biscuit. Crumpled, Robert. I got to stress that. I pour
you
that.
got to crumple up the biscuit.
Shush. So that's what Mama said.
Don't get that bacon.
So I'm pouring the gravy on top of my crumpled up biscuit. How fast does that gravy come off of that? I want to know. Is it like water? Is it thick? If you have to shake it off, tell me what that's like.
Okay, when you take the spoon up and you turn it over, it's just a gentle stream. It's not like a big clunk of blob, or it's not real thin. It's just got to be right in the middle. Perfect.
I like how he says that, the gentle flow of the gravy, man. I mean, man, you could be a cooking show, man. I mean, I like how you said that, man. The gentle flow of the gravy. I love it, man.
You sound like a babbling brook or something.
Bam!
This is great. This is great.
Number one, we got stuff we got to address now. Number one, first thing is you shushed me.
I did.
And number two, you almost shushed me when I said I use packet gravy. Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead and mansplain that, big boy.
I am going to mansplain it. I'm taking care of my wife, the vegetarian. I can't make gravy after bacon and sausage. It's much easier for me to use the packet so she can eat it too. Because guess what? She likes gravy.
Does she crumble her biscuit up?
No.
She don't?
Oh.
She ain't no sissy. She's a woman, but she ain't no sissy.
What's that got to do with anything, man? Where's that going?
I gotta crumble my biscuit to get it bite size so I can eat it. Let me very daintily.
Okay.
No.
I got one for y'all.
Wait, Cook. When you crumble the biscuit up, it just means when you got that good gentle flow of gravy that Cook's talking about, that means it gets all over the biscuit. That means you don't eat a dry biscuit, man. It's all covered. It's all good, man. Come on.
Well, what kind of biscuits are you eating if they dry? Come on, Cook. Make some biscuits now. You done taught him how to make.
All right, Cook, you're up.
And it's got flakes of butter in the biscuit.
There you go.
You have water, but you got milk. They come out real good, and it's roll out and cut them out. And you get good crisp on both sides. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, then you don't have to be eating no dry biscuits.
Cook froze on us a little bit. He'll be right back. But so tell us about this pack, man. This pack you're doing. Tell us about that.
Well, you gotta be
there.
careful.
He is. He's back.
Okay.
The what?
You froze just for a second, Cook. You're good now.
What's the question?
I think we were finished. Oh, the biscuits.
Oh, okay.
Tell us how you make the biscuits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a biscuit mix, and it's got little flakes of butter in it.
Making me hungry.
And you just put water in it or milk, and you mix it up and drop them in there. It'll drop biscuit, or you can roll them out and cut them. And if you cut them, I believe they get that crispy crunch with that butter on it. Woo!
Do you use the old rolling pin? You know, Mama used, Grandma used. Do you use that, or you just roll it out by hand?
No, I just use my old hand, and pat it out to how thick I want it. And just take a glass and just cut them out like that.
That's what my mama did. Got the
You
old
gotta have
glass.
that whatever you're cooking them on, real buttered up, real good, a lot of butter on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, why are you letting him get away with mix on biscuits, but you ain't letting me get away with mix on gravy?
Because it just don't sound right. The gravy is the main part of this. And you're right, Tar Man. We won't hide that fact that we can argue over. Well, we can argue over anything. I mean, that's a Southern thing, right? That's our Scottish backgrounds and stuff, and English and Irish and everything else. We can argue over anything. But hey, it makes for a fun show. But okay. So I mean, if we were going to be a stickler for it here, you got to go completely from scratch. Hey, do they make them scratch at Hardee's, don't they? Do they use a mix, or is it totally from scratch? I don't know. I ain't worked at Hardee's.
It's a mix.
That's what they say, but is it?
It's a mix.
Is it a mix? Somebody that's worked there, drop in and let us know.
I worked there, but I don't remember. The manager made the biscuits, but
well, Cook, you didn't think they was going to let you loose with the biscuits, man. I mean, come on.
Who are you kidding? They got a guy in there with a ball bat daring you to get close to them biscuits.
This is a guy who just admitted to us that he ate 209 shrimp at one sitting and 16 pancakes at another.
You think they're going to let you in it there? Anything cooked? Oh.
Yeah, 16 pancakes is a lot, too.
Yeah.
That's a lot, brother. That's a lot.
That's almost as bad as me working at Taco Bell.
Hey, I think we ought to salute ourselves. I mean, we're real rednecks. I didn't know that till that comment. Only real rednecks can argue over biscuits and gravy. We deserve it. I'm saluting you, brothers.
I'm not a real redneck. I'm a hick. I'm not no redneck. Y'all can be all the redneck y'all want to be. I'm a hick.
Well, with no hair on the back of your head, man, I'm sure that neck gets red. So don't go there.
I'll do something to keep that sun off of it.
A neck stocking.
Out of my ears.
A neck stocking.
Okay,
What was that?
You take your biscuit and dip it in the fried egg yellow part. Y'all call it.
Oh, he's talking about taking a biscuit and sopping up the juice of the egg? Absolutely. That's what your extra biscuit's for.
Oh, that's what I call it.
No. That's what the grits are for. You cut the eggs up and mix it with grits.
No.
Yeah.
I hate grits. It's got to be the biscuit, man.
Look, you ever cut your fried eggs up and mix them in with your grits?
Yes.
There. Now you eat Southern.
That's good.
Tarman, that's true if you buy it in store, but we do get some fresh. There are opportunities around here. Yeah. And that is great. By the way, there is a restaurant in our area that is straight. They don't come in boxed. They have the best. Oh, it's got a little bite to it. Sausage. I'm not going to name them, but they not too far from me, and he's got a supplier for that, and they are the best sausage patties, man. But yeah, you're right. They do come in a box, or it's packaged up in the little thing, a little like you cut them, cut them out. I don't. Very rarely do we get the kind that's box, but we have before. That's right.
Ron, how did you make your wife gravy if you didn't use sausage or bacon? Just use oil?
I used the mix. My gravy mix doesn't require any oil or anything like that.
What was she eat vegetable oil?
Yes, I could use vegetable oil.
You could just
but
use
it's
vegetable
a lot
oil.
easier, and this stuff tastes good, and it doesn't have any lard or anything like that with it.
So, dude, what are you doing? Putting this thing in a microwave and heating it up, man? I mean, it sounds like Insta gravy, man. Come on.
No, it is almost an Insta gravy. You put a cup and a half of water in the
it is.
In the pot, and then you mixed up a half a cup in a thing, and you whisk the gravy mix up in it, and you pour it in there, put the heat on it. It's done. And
Hardee's gravy is a mix.
Well, there's no doubt there. Yeah.
What you have to be careful with for her is a lot of these gravies will have lard or chicken fat or beef fat. Most of them do. There are a extreme few that doesn't have any of those ingredients. And so
probably the best thing. health wise would be something like olive oil or something. That would be real
No,
good.
it's not necessarily that she's trying to eat all that healthy. It's she's a vegetarian and she doesn't want that
Yeah,
kind of
well,
refried beans. When you go to the store and you buy refried beans, do you ever think about them not being vegetarian?
no.
Rob, this may shock you, but I don't even eat refried beans, so I don't have to worry
What?
about shopping for them.
How do you eat Mexican food?
Dave don't
Uh,
eat beans, refried beans and grits.
I rarely eat that, but if I do, it's not those things. I eat fajitas or something like that. Tacos. No refried beans for me, brother.
So, look, you can't even argue with your wife properly if you don't eat refried beans.
Well, you're going to have to explain that. How do I got to argue with
How
her?
do you let her know if what she said stinks or not?
You ain't right.
Look, I'm not going to call no names, but my grandma and grandpa, they used to get in some hecacious arguments in the middle of the night. And I know they was
Is
arguing.
that a word? You were doing me the wordsmith the other night. What was that word you just said?
What?
What?
What word?
Sure.
Hecacious?
What was that?
Hecacious?
What,
Yeah.
what's that?
Because you're a preacher, you'll get mad if I say hellacious.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
No, shush.
Oh.
Oh man. We're going to come on Sunday night more often, man. This is killer. So go ahead with this argument between the grandparents. They were arguing over something. What were they arguing?
I don't know what they was arguing about, but they sure were talking a lot of crap. Yeah, I could hear it.
One of the worst arguments I heard was these two older people coming out of the Big W box store, and they had been over different parts of the store buying stuff. And the lady come out first, and she asked me, she said, "Did you see this real old man with a hat on come out?" I mean, I don't know that. What a description, this real old man with a hat on. And I just said, honestly, ma'am, I didn't see some real old man with a hat on, and I hadn't at that moment, She said, "Oh my goodness, he's still in the store." So she turns around and charges back in. Well, then I see a real old man in a hat come out. He's looking for the real old lady. And he's like, "Have you seen a real old lady out here?" I said, "Well, she went back in the store." So he disappears back in the store, and they came back out, and they're walking. This is, there's sometimes you look at older folks who've been married a long time, and you say, "Oh, what a picture of true love." I couldn't say that about these two. Before they even hit the door, they were on each other. She was carrying, he said he had to go back for eggs, I think it was, and she had a bag of stuff, and he had a bag, but he pulls out the eggs. He said, "I had to go back for the eggs," and they're cussing each other, man, worse than sailors do. And they cursed each other all the way to the car about the eggs that he had to go back in and get. Man, I'm thinking, I don't want to grow old like that.
Now, let me put this out there. I'm joking when I talk about my grandparents arguing and stuff and talking crap to each other. I remember every night, my grandma and grandpa, every night, and I lived with them for a long time, years and years, would read the Bible. Grandma would lay in there with her and she would read the Bible. They would recite 23rd Psalms and the Lord's Prayer after reading the Bible.
Amen.
Every night.
Awesome.
Wow.
Every night. And I could hear them every night.
Awesome.
And in fact, that's how I learned the 23rd Psalm.
That's great.
Awesome, yes.
And when you think about that, and they're both gone now, unfortunately. Grandma died earlier this year. Grandpa died a few years ago. But, Grandpa fought all the way across Germany during World War II. I mean, and he hit some of the rough ones, Battle of the Bulge and such as that. and he made it home.
God
So,
bless grandparents, man.
yes. And that generation has
Amen to
they're
that.
just about all gone.
They made this wonderful home here, and they really looked out for us. I know God had a big hand in that, and I thank them all.
A lot of our grandparents were young children during the Depression, so they remembered how times were tough. And I remember going to my grandma's house, and she was a very frugal person. I mean, you think you're frugal? Go talk to somebody that's been through the Depression. I mean, like she would cut open the toothpaste and flay it out so she could get every last bit of toothpaste. A lot of people just throw those away when they can't get no more to squeeze out. Not her. But I went down to help her do something. She would crush all the cans. Now, I think I told you this before, but she was she was the first one that I knew in our family that drank Tab. I mean, that first diet drink. Oh, it was horrible. But she'd drink that. So she wanted to recycle them cans. She got a little money for them, So she had a bunch of cans. She said, would you come over and crush them cans? She had a little crusher. I said, sure, Grandma, I'll help you out. Well, I was there by myself, and she had this real nice stereo. Of course, Grandma, the only thing to play on the record player was the Chuck Wagon Gang.
I'm just
go ahead, man. We'll take you off stage. But I take it. Whoops, we popped him back up. But I crushed them cans, and I was listening to some of her gospel music, Chuck Wagon Gang, while I took breaks from crushing and everything. And she didn't have nothing but water and orange juice in the house. Water and orange juice. And I drank some water, but I was wanting something with some flavor, So I started drinking her orange juice. And after working all day, it took me several hours. She had a lot of cans crushed. She come home at the end of the day. She said, "Hey, boy, did you get those cans all crushed and bagged up?" I said, "I sure did, Grandma." She was all happy and everything. Well, she just happened to go to the refrigerator and open the refrigerator up. And she saw that her orange juice was gone. It wasn't even there. Well, what she would do, again, this is what they did. She would take them and wash them out and put water in it and put back in there and have cold water out of the orange juice glass container. That's what she would do. But I had it sitting out. I hadn't put it back in there. I'd put it in the sink or something. And that's what it was. She went to the sink and she saw that container. And she called me in there and she said, "Are you telling me that you drank all the orange juice?" And I didn't know what to say. I never made my grandma mad. I never did. And I said, "I'm sorry. Yeah, there wasn't nothing else to drink. And I didn't want that Tab, So she said, "Well, that's okay, son." But she said, that's enough orange juice to last me for a month. I killed it one day, man, one afternoon. And being frugal, man, I told my dad, I said, "You're going to have to buy her some orange juice." That's the only time I've seen my grandma mad at me, or not mad, but she was aggravated because I drank all the orange juice. But people have them stories like that, man. They, they saved, man, because everything counted, man. Nowadays, it's wasteful society, man. People just throw stuff away, but not your grandparents. Not if they went through the Depression, because their parents was drilling into their heads. You don't waste nothing.
No, you don't. And if you did, you didn't get it replaced. That's for sure. I know my granddaddy didn't find out. He was real sickly when he was young, and his older brother was raising him or helping raise him. Mama had dropped him off with him, and come to find out, he was just sick. And what his other brother came by, his other older brother, and said he's bad, and bad sick. And come to find out, he was allergic to lye, and that's what they used for soap back then was lye soap.
Yeah,
and it about killed him, But he went all the way through the third grade,
all the way through.
Mm-hmm. But he built a business, a business that did really well, and it was slaughterhouse, and it was. He had a meat route. They made some of the best smoked sausage. It's still remembered here to this day, and it's not been made for a while.
Awesome, man.
But, and Georgia, Florida, Alabama. He built it up from the ground.
That's great. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I know we worked hard because I remember running 70 head of hogs through there in one day.
Yeah, and when you think about the hard work that they did and everything, that's that to them, it was just, this is just how we do. We work hard every day. We gotta provide for our family. We gotta, make things last. Learn how to work on things. You couldn't afford to call a repairman. You fixed it yourself. And, that's how they learned. And even though they didn't get to go to school a lot of times because they were pulled out for harvest time and planting time. And so they missed a lot of, that's right, Tar, man. We scrape cans clean. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, man. That's so true. And hey, I'm thankful for what we got now. I mean, I'm not saying we should all have to struggle like that. I'm not looking to say we got to go back to that, but I will say it gave a foundation to us, to our parents and to us. And, it's just nowadays, everything's just this, instantaneous, man. I want it now. And back then, I mean, a meal was it wasn't, it wasn't an Insta meal. It was something that was prepared. I mean, if you think about the ladies who was probably mainly doing that, the mom and the sisters, and they were making, I mean, they got up early. They started the breakfast before daylight because you had to hit them fields and whatever else you was doing, the cattle, chickens, whatever. And then they were already cleaning that up. They were already working on the lunchtime, whether it was a pot of soup or whatever it was. And then, and then you had your, supper or whatever in the afternoon. You might have had a little time in the late in the evening to, as we say here, sit out on the front porch. Yeah. And then once it got dark, it wasn't no burning lights and stuff. It was bedtime. Lights, we're not going to waste energy. You go to bed. And by the way, you were ready to go to bed. You were wore out. And you went to bed and it all started again. And again, the only change in that would be when Sunday came and you go to church. That's the only change. Day after day, that's what you did. And of course, the kids go to school. But and of course, you had to get up and do your chores before you went to school.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, the kids got a pass. And when they got home from school, they had to get chores, homework, whatever, work in the fields, whatever, and then right into bed. I mean, and I did experience some of that. I stayed with my uncle a lot on his farm and experienced a lot of that. So I got used to those cycles. I'd stay several days in a row, and you worked. There was a little bit that we did. They did give us playtime. We had time to play, sit on the front porch or play some ball, throw a ball or whatever, play a little stick ball, whatever. But mostly it was work. But they fed you. Man, that food tasted so good. You know it?
Because you worked all day.
You were starving, man. And it of course, it's fresh. They churn their own butter. They milk the cow. All the sausage and all the meat is fresh. They've slaughtered the fatted, hog and the cattle and all that stuff. And you just ate good, man. I mean, and that's where we talking about biscuits earlier. I mean, there wasn't no little biscuits. It was them cat head biscuits they talk about. I mean, big as a cat's head. I mean, I have great memories of all that, man. I mean, great memories.
I do too. But I'm going to remind you of something.
All right.
And you're going to like this, or you ain't going to like it. It's Sunday night. It's 10 after 10 now.
Yeah.
We got to be up in the morning for a morning show.
And we will.
And we will. I love you, brother. And I'm glad you came on tonight. But we've hit our hour mark, and I am tired.
Robert's wimping out. He's going to bed.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
No, I'll wait for you because you got to get up in the morning too. You ain't going to hang me out there by myself.
So we have to leave together.
We have to leave together. We have to do it together. Where's Cook at?
Well, he's in the restroom. So he's not even going to know. He's going to come back and go, hey, where'd everybody go?
Well, he's going to figure it out because you're still going to be on here, but we're going to be done.
Everybody have a great night. Special Sunday night Front Porch Talkin. We appreciate everybody coming in, commenting. Hopefully you talked about something that was interesting to you. We figured out Robert doesn't know how to do biscuits and gravy. We did figure that out.
I don't know how to eat grits.
I don't know how to eat grits. And we found out Cook will eat about anything. And he's a pretty good cook. By the way, he got the vote. He makes the best gravy in town. I don't know if I've ever had his gravy. I'm kind of jealous now. I'm going to have to he's got to make me some gravy, man.
And we also know that Dave is the biggest redneck in the world because he can argue about anything.
I can. Absolutely.
Including Biscuit's great.
And hey, Cook came back. He made it back.
You got back here just in time.
Good.
All right. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you in the morning on the morning show. Say goodnight, Cook.
Good night, Cook.
Salute everybody. Thanks everybody for being in the stream. Come join us 6 a.m. in the morning for the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday edition.
Yes, we do that on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Y'all like and follow her if you get the chance. We'd appreciate it. And
God bless. Eat
good
grits,
night,
people.
and get
Eat
ready for
grits,
in the morning.
Dave.
Not eating grits, but I want some of your gravy, man. You're going to have to make me up something special.
Hey, I can do it.
I got to try that.
Next time you're down this way, I'll pick you up something special.
Scrambled eggs, pancakes, bacon.
We love you too, Candy.
Thank you, Candy.
Yeah, love you, Candy.
Later, Tar, man. Daniel, if you're still out there, Earl, appreciate all of you. All the people in the streams, thank you so much. Join us. Yeah. We got a lot of lives this week. Come join us. We'll kick your day off in the morning with some funnies and devotion and a morning show.
Absolutely.
So we be busy. Have a great night.
Love y'all.
Wait a minute. Where'd you put the – oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.